Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Jenna Morton.
And I'm Tosh Taylor. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and Tosh, you have lined up a very interesting guest for us today.
Yeah, something that is kind of like on the tip of everybody's tongue right now, of course, is the closing of the causeway from Riverview to Moncton, or Moncton to Riverview, what have you. Well, the new bridge is being finished and opened and ready for boom business when that happens.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting little spring here
Yes.
into fall.
Absolutely. So for a while, I've been sitting on the board for the Sentinel Petitcodiac Riverkeepers, and I have this undying love for the Petitcodiac River and its history in our area and how important this river is. So when I see people complaining about the closure of the causeway, it kind of makes me a little bit upset because
Just a little bit.
the little bit of like inconvenience you're going to have for a couple of months is nothing compared to the inconvenience it's had since the 1960s. So today we've brought in the chair of the Sentinel Petitcodiac Riverkeepers, Ronald Babin, is here today to talk with us about the importance of the river and
Just give us a little bit of that context
Yes.
of how we ended up where we are today.
Yes, absolutely. So Ronald, welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, thank you. Nice to hear.
Absolutely. So maybe we'll start things off with just a short history of the river and its importance to our area.
Well, I mean, the Petitcodiac River is the heart of a big ecosystem, the Petitcodiac watershed, which is the third largest watershed in New Brunswick, over 2,000 square kilometers. It may be even close to 3,000. It's really a big watershed, and this is the main artery, if you want, of that watershed. So damaging it damages the whole ecosystem in a sense, because it unravels, the equilibriums, the natural equilibriums that you have that are important to us, for water quality and, just basic environmental health, if you wish. So that damages the whole thing. So by restoring, what has been damaged, it'll be very good for us all. And I share your enthusiasm, Tosh. I mean, there may be a slight discomfort, for a few months, but I mean, we'll have two great bridges linking our communities, and they will permit, cars, but they will also permit bikers like many of us, walkers like many of us, joggers like many of us to cross easily, as is not the case on the causeway and was not the case on the old bridge, that was replaced, by the new Gunningsville. We know that we can pass on that one. So we'll have two nice bridges that will permit all kinds of links and, active transports. And, and these are all important issues for us, in this kind of sanitary crisis era that we're going through, where we're discovering the joys of, walking, biking, doing a whole bunch of activities.
Can you talk a little bit about what happened that interrupted the natural ecosystem that was happening there for people who maybe grew up in the area or who are familiar with?
I didn't grow up in the area, but I've been here for quite a while. But yeah, in the 60s, and I wasn't there at that time. A bad decision was taken, because there was need for a link across the river, and rather than doing a bridge, I think rock politics. We know that we have a lot of quarries in the area, a lot of rocks and things like that. So I think a lot of lobbying work, paid out for that industry, rather than building a bridge that would have kept the river flow. They dammed it basically with an opening of 5 gates, and basically the bed of the river was shifted towards the Riverview side. So the bed of the river itself was closed off and it's artificially shifted. And that started, of course, the big silting problem that we know happened and suffocated basically the river over the years. It's quite amazing. We have a picture, and I can send it to you later if you want, that shows that the building was done in '67, and we have a picture, an aerial picture of the river in '69, 2 years later, and already the sketch of the silting problem. It was very, very, very apparent. And of course, that decision was not a decision that was accepted by everybody. We've learned later on that there were some misgivings within even the political milieu, but we know how decisions are taken, and maybe at that time they can be more obscure even today, because we put a lot of value on transparency, which was perhaps not that present at there. But some politicians have kind of said, we were not very pleased with that. But anyways, it went ahead, and that's history. And so the river was blocked, and the choking, the silting, and the dying of the river began at that point, and it just accelerated over time. A river that was wider than a kilometer, or even more than a kilometer at some areas, was really shrinked to not even, like even less than 100 meters at one point. We had a press conference sometimes in the early 2000s showcasing that we could throw snowballs across, just the absurdity of it. And a dying river is a disservice to the whole community, because rivers are lifebloods in many ways for communities, and that's another story. We can get into the intricacies of all that, but anyways, that's the short version of it. But let it be known that also the opposition started from early on. Even when the decision was being taken, it was denounced by people, and people for various reasons, and people took the issue to the public, but without success in a way. But it showcased the fact that there was not a consensus view that this was a great thing. It was great for people that like rocks, but for the rest, we suffered. Not in it's just was a nonsense decision by today's standards. But we must also recognize that at that time, causeways were being built. It was kind of a way that was being done, but we've come forward, and now we don't build causeways, we take them out, and this is not the first one that is being taken out.
Yeah.
And,
I remember you telling me the first time I actually interviewed you, and what got me on the board with the Riverkeepers is when you told me that our river was one of the most endangered rivers in Canada. And was it in the
yes.
world, possibly?
Well, it's hard to say that, but at least it was identified as for many years it was either number one or number two or number three on the endangered list, and we were losing it. Oh yes, we were losing. I mean, this is a picture that you could see it from satellites. That this river was dying, and something had to be done. Of course, we recognized that early on. But we created Sentinel Riverkeeper in 1999, but there was a whole bunch of activities prior to that, that were wanting to reverse this dynamics, and they were just not being able to bring it to the end result that was required. The scope was perhaps too focused in on certain issues rather than the broader issue of the whole cultural, historic, economic, the how the river is a plus in a multifaceted way for our three communities, Dieppe, Mountain, Riverview, and also for all the communities all along from Petitcodiac going down to Alma, and of course. This is what we've been focused on, from early on, bringing in, all the communities, the Francophones, the Anglophones, and the First Nations, working together because the river is of cultural and historic and economic significance for all of us. That it may be expressed in different manners, but basically everybody is saying the thing. This river is important to us, and we got to do something about it. And what's particular of the riverkeeper is the willingness to use the legal challenges, bringing this before the courts, because laws were not being respected. And so this was, kind of the game changer thing, because when we were founded in 1999, Chimes and Transcript came out with an editorial saying, well, there's been a lot of stuff done for the river, but this is the group that's going to change it. These are the guys that are and girls, and, these are the people that are gonna change things, and I remember that very much, and we're now, we did it, and we're very pleased. But it took a lot of work, a lot of determination, and we've been at it for 22 years, and some people have been at it 20 years even before us, and we have a picture that we took in 2001 of 3 generations of people that had and have been working for river restoration.
When you think ahead to, say, the next 20 years, now that the causeway's coming out, what do you dream the river looking like in the future? How does this save? What does that look like?
Well, we're seeing it already, because in 2010, with the work that we were doing and things, that has a whole history, a lot of steps before that. But in April 2010, the decision was taken to open the 5 gates permanently. And so the ebb and flow of the river, even in a limited scope, began having its influence, and we've seen the river widen and deepen, since then, and I think everybody was amazed. Even we were amazed at the speed of this process. So with the new partial bridge, because it's not a bridge that will encompass the whole 1 kilometer, it's closer to 300 meters. We can imagine, that this process will accelerate, and this will be beneficial for our area, because a restored river will be of great help in helping us adapt and hopefully mitigate some of the climate changes challenges, because we're at low level, we're at kind of a little above sea level, and we know that the climate emergency is forecasting, rise in sea levels that will be quite significant, and people, conservatives, are saying about a meter. I believe it's going to be much more than a meter in the 21st century. I don't know how far and how fast, but things are accelerating. So it will help us. It gives us a bit of time, to accommodate ourselves. There's going to be a lot of other infrastructure work needed, because we're going to have to protect our communities. But the river is the first line of protection, and that's important. So that's an element that motivated us, and also I think motivated the political decisions that we're taking. It will present us with opportunities. We have challenges, but we have opportunities to develop ecotourism and all the recreational facets that accompany a tidal river, which has a tidal bore, the pulse of the universe that comes into Moncton twice a day, said her mayor, Don Arno, for quite a while. I thought that image was really great, and so it offers us opportunities to do things around, building, activities. We're having trails set up. The surface showed us, that was potential. With the not only the bridge, but also the great work that's being done in Transaqua to clean up the wastewaters. So the waters will be much cleaner recreational level. So that will permit, some type of activities on the river. We have to be very careful of what type of activity. This is a tidal river, and it's an active river. But there are things that can be done safely if they're thought of correctly. So that's, there's some activities on water, maybe recreational fisheries and things like that. We're The Regional Service Commission is developing a whole lot of pathways all over the area, to accommodate, as I was saying, the walkers, the bikers, the geocachers, the people that like to do this type of, and increasingly people are just running all over the river. Those pathways are very, very busy. And also, if we do things correctly, we can help people understand that we are the hub of many, many, many tourist destinations that are magnificent. The best beaches, the great parks, Petitcodiac and Fundy, the rocks, the great pathways, and there's so many things of interest, to draw people and to have people stay. I think we're in quite a wonderful area, really, and we have to highlight that, and we have to showcase that. And having a healthier river, will be a draw. We have to work on that, and this is work that has to be done, community levels. And we've had a first symposium on issues like that a year and a half ago, and it was quite successful. It happened just before the COVID thing, and we were hoping to have repeat activities of that nature, but we've been slowed down because of COVID. But I mean, there's so many opportunities around those ideas.
Absolutely. Okay, before we go today, how can people get more information about the river?
Well, you can kind of get some through our website, but even we have to upgrade a lot of that, because we've been doing a lot of work, and the website was not our main priority, but we have a lot of stuff on that. But we also have we have submitted some project proposal, to highlight, build a better understanding of the river, its history and its values. And there's so many things using new technologies, and of course we have a big project that we like to come to fruition sometimes on the road, is to have some kind of an interpretation center, an observatoire de la rivière, a river observation thing, which would be kind of an area around where we could build all this information and all that, help this dynamic go forward, which is a plus for the whole area, a better knowledge of the great things that we have here. Because we must remember, like, we went from the most endangered river to the biggest river restoration project in Canada right now. There's no river that's being restored in such a manner, and there's, over, I'd say something around $200 million with, if you combine bridge and trans-aqua infrastructure stuff. This is major, and it is being done for a purpose. We need this collectively. It's going to be a very great benefits to all of us, but we have to work at this, knowing this and acknowledging this, and showcasing that this for us is great stuff, so coming back to the minor inconvenience that we will have for a few months, but also the minor inconvenience may be mitigated by the fact that a lot of people doing work from home because of COVID, so that, but I know there will be some, but let's just take it with patience, knowing that the payoff is so great. And we'll have these two great bridges, and we will have opportunities ahead of us to do magnificent things for our communities. And what is interesting also is that our three communities had been somewhat, not completely divided, but, Dieppe was very much in favor. Moncton was yes and no, and Riverview for a while was kind of no. But now everybody is seeing, and everybody's working together, and this is great, and this must we must push forward with that. And I'll be very happy when this sanitary crisis passes. But then again, it also showcases that unhealthy environments are also at the cause, of some of these health issues too. A healthy environment is good for health in people, in societies, in communities, and we have to start linking and understanding how things are intertwined, and a good, healthy, clean environment is a requirement going forward, and we must understand that. And there's still much work to be done. I'm an environmental sociologist, as you may know, and I've been a university professor for a long time. I've recently retired, but I've been teaching those things for years, and that's the future. The 21st century is an ecological center.
Excellent.
I love that.
Century, yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
it's a center and the century. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the focus of both. And I'm going to put the plug out there for anyone who is facing those, upcoming delays. Think about routing yourself through Salisbury, see the whole river.
Yeah, good
Come
idea.
through, grab a coffee at the new coffee shop. I live in the Salisbury end.
No, yeah, I agree.
Fascinating to know how far it goes, and that whole complex is. I found the other day that they used to build ships like behind my house, basically, and I'm like, I can't even picture how different the river was then, and then to imagine how different it might be for my kids when they're my age, and it's fascinating, and I'm so grateful for all the work that so many people have put in to preserve the history and to make these changes going forward now. So thank you.
I agree with you totally. And I must admit, there's so many committed individuals that have put a lot of energy into this. The name list would be it's incredible, So we have to take our hats off, on all of these people that over the years have contributed to this outcome, and this outcome that we must build on and continue to push forward. We've not arrived at an end. It's it's the beginning of a new period. Correcting an error and building on this correction and making sure that things like that don't happen again, and taking up the challenges and opportunities that it offers us. And doing things around rivers and bodies of water help rejuvenate communities in an amazing manner. And this is a pattern that's going on all over the world, where we rejuvenate and restore, because this is restoration, what we're doing, where we restore waterways and things like that. It offers opportunities, and there's so many case studies all over the world showcasing the positive aspects of this. And I think eventually, sometimes down the road, we will be able to make a case study of this, renewal, this restoration, showcasing, wow, this is what it has, opened the door to. And so much work to be done. And for many of us who have, been, at the origin of Sentinelle, because some of us, I'm one of the founders, but there are many others. We're very happy, to have contributed to this outcome, and very happy to see new players come on board with Sentinelle Riverkeeper, such as Tosh, younger people that are taking the willingness, showcasing the willingness to take it further. And this is great, and so this is my way also of inviting this the younger generations, to take up the flame and bring it, bring the light further, and it's great, it's bringing, it's working for our present and our future, correcting past errors and not renewing them, and doing things differently, and accepting the worldview that green is better.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, we'll make sure that all the contact information is put in show notes for today's episode. And thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
No, it was a pleasure as always. Take care now.